I'm so hyper. Okay, I had 2 cups of coffee. That's probably why. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll try to chill out. Hello everyone, Adrian here. So you probably noticed a couple of new decorations on my set here, and it's not exactly accidental, but let's just say I had to move a couple of things out of my desk at my office. I didn't get fired, I promise. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, so today I am going to be bringing you not 1, but 2 books of Gothic literature for you to check out. Now, the reason why I didn't do a separate video for each of these books is because not really much to say about them. I feel really bad about saying that, especially considering that Gothic literature is my favorite genre of books and definitely of literature to read, but the way that these were presented was, let's just say, shit. Total shit. And I feel like, again, I feel really bad about saying that, but these very much had the same sort of flavor and presentation that The Castle of Otranto by Horace Walpole had, which, as you guys know, fucking hated that book. Like I said, while the story in and of itself wasn't half bad, and it definitely is a pioneering piece of literature that set forth the path of the genre of Gothic literature, it just was in the hands of an author who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So I couldn't stand it. I hated his presentation, I hated his writing style, and everything like that, so yeah, so these are kind of along the same vein as far as me being annoyed with them. And let me just go ahead and tell you about the 2 books. So the first one I'm going to be telling you about, because this is the one that I read first, was The Necromancer by Peter Twohold? I guess that's how you say it in German, I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry. My German's terrible. I'm only good at singing it, kind of, in short doses, but I'm not very good at speaking it. I'm so sorry. Okay, and then the other one is The Midnight Bell by Francis Latham. You will notice, let me see here, on the bottom of this one it says the Northanger novels. Now, the reason why it says the Northanger novels is because these are novels that were briefly mentioned in the book Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. And this is widely regarded as a parody or a smackdown of Gothic literature as a genre. Those of you who don't know about it, it's basically the story of a young heroine who is obsessed with Gothic literature to the point where it negatively affects her social life. Eventually I will be mentioning that, but I think it's a really good idea to get a hold of the material that they are discussing in said novel before I actually move on to Northanger Abbey as a whole. So trust me, I will be talking about Northanger Abbey later on, just not now. So I'm going to start with The Necromancer first, because again, that's the one that I read first of the 2. Now, this tells the story of a couple of old boyhood friends who serendipitously meet after 30 years of being separated, and they tell each other of, you know, what's been going on with your life. Dude, what's up? Oh my god, I haven't seen you in like 30 years. That sort of thing. And they kind of join forces on their journey together and discover this old inn that, let's just say, a couple of weird occurrences happen. You know, things get stolen, the dude's complaining, and then some lord is staying there and he's just like, oh hey, I'll give this shit back to you and I'll give you a loan to make up for that shit. What? Why bother stealing if you're gonna give it back, dude? Come on, dude. Anyway, and then they approach this very austere setting called the Black Forest, and they are learning steadily of the secret of a necromancer a spellcaster who lives in said forest. And he conducts his spells and rituals and ceremonies in the dungeon of some old structure. And a lot of supernatural occurrences definitely take place and happen upon the setting, and that's where all the intrigue and the terror and everything like that does come into focus. And while I will definitely praise the novel for its supernatural elements, I just hate the way that it was presented. It was just a whole bunch of, oh hey, let me tell you a story. Oh hey, let me tell you a story. This has to do with this. This is tangentially related to this. And oh my god, it drove me nuts. It absolutely drove me nuts. And there were just these chapters where the author would just carry on about stupid bullshit that really wasn't relevant to the present situation as it stands now. And oh my god, it was just terrible. I honestly think, and I've said this before, that if something like this were in the hands of Matthew Gregory Lewis, who was a masterful writer, I absolutely love his work. And I hate that I keep comparing things to Matthew Gregory Lewis, but it comes from around the same time period as when he was writing his most popular novels and taking cues and everything like that from the previous works of Gothic literature. I think these guys were trying to, and when I say these guys, I mean both of these authors. I think these guys were trying to take the elements that Anne Radcliffe and Matthew Gregory Lewis had perfected upon and be like, oh hey, I can do this too. Except this is a real German Gothic story. You know, it's not your fake British bullshit or your bullshit in Spain or your bullshit in France or Italy. Fuck that, this is German. And there was kind of this wave of popularity of Gothic German stories back then where people thought, oh my god, if it came from Germany, it is like so Gothic. Oh my god. But, you know, just because it came from Germany and it's so Gothic doesn't mean it was well written. Fuck you. So that's how I felt about the Necromancer. Could it have been better? Yes. If the author would just stop carrying on about stupid bullshit, it would have been so much better. And like I said, if it had been in the hands of Anne Radcliffe or Matthew Gregory Lewis, it would have been so much better because they know how to present a story and they know how to create suspense. Now that brings me to the second book, which is one that I recently finished. It's called The Midnight Bell, and this is by Frances Latham. And again, same fucking problem with this book as there is with The Necromancer. So this one also takes place in Germany. And again, cool, yeah, okay, takes place in Germany, nice, it's kind of a cool departure from, you know, France and Italy and England. Not. Same sort of thing happens. There's a whole bunch of mysterious circumstances that occur, and a mother is found holding the knife standing over the body of her husband, and her son is just like, no, your uncle's the one who did this! And he kind of like runs away and tries to make his own way and do his own thing and try to find himself after this supposed tragedy. And while in a convent in the distant countryside, he does meet this beautiful novice nun, or nun in training, I suppose, named Loretta. And she was an abandoned orphan, and, you know, she had a really tragic background, and no one who knows who her parents were, but all the nuns kind of keep it a secret. Oh my god. Don't tell anyone about Loretta. Oh my god, okay. This nobleman named Alphonsus, who is the rightful inheritor of said castle because his father was the lord of this castle and this, you know, little region area. So Alphonsus falls in love with Loretta and he wants to take her away with him, and she's very much aroused and impressed by his passion, and she falls in love with him, and they make plans to run away with the help of the head monk. That's kind of interesting that a monk would condone this sort of behavior way back when. I don't know, maybe he had a little bit too much of that communion wine, got blasted, and was just like, hey, you guys should run away together, I'll even marry you before you go! So, yeah, that sort of thing happened. So, shortly after they become married, Loretta is pregnant, and she gives birth to a beautiful baby girl, but she does not survive very long after the birth, which is really sad. And of course Alphonsus and Loretta are very much saddened and depressed and grieved by this event taking place and transpiring. So they kind of are into a sorrowful kind of period. But shortly after Loretta kind of recovers her senses, she's kidnapped. Dude, kidnapped. What even? So Alphonsus kind of has to solve this mystery of Loretta's disappearance, and he also has to find out what the hell happened with the death of his father. What the hell happened? Now, while I think that this story in and of itself was slightly better than the Necromancer, again, the problem with the Necromancer is the damn storytelling within the book. That drove me nuts. That positively drove me nuts. But I don't know how the author of this one made it worse, but he made it worse. What? As if I thought the storytelling shit and carrying on about stupid crap in the Necromancer wasn't bad enough. It's even worse in the Midnight Bell. He meets this guy in the woods, he's an Italian, oh hey, let me tell you this story. And then freaking Loretta gets captured, and then her captor freaking tells her a story, and then the nuns are telling a story about Loretta, and then, oh my god. Way too much storytelling! It's like, dude, this is not terribly relevant to what's going on right now. Quit! You are making me lose track of the present events that are relevant. Please, dude, come on. Come on, man. So, do I think that these novels do have their place within the genre of Gothic literature? Absolutely. They definitely have all of the characteristics and things that define Gothic literature. Absolutely. The supernatural events, the damsel in distress, and the noble hero who is sensitive and loving, and oh my god, I'm going to save my girlfriend. That sort of thing. And again, supernatural occurrences, that is super, super important in Gothic literature. However, I just think that they were presented horribly. They really were. Now, I am not going to stop anyone from reading these novels. I'm definitely not going to stop them from doing that. I'm just kind of throwing it out there what I think of them and kind of saying like, oh hey, you guys may not have heard of this. If you want to go for it, totally, freaking go for it. I'm not going to stop you, but that's just what I think of it. And if you have a differing opinion, of course, feel free to leave your comments down below. I would love to have a discussion about them. So yes, I once again will emphasize that if these storylines had been presented to Matthew Gregory Lewis or Anne Radcliffe, it would have been so much better. And it would have made a lot more sense, would have been so much more cohesive, and it would have been so much more comprehensible. I couldn't keep track because the presentation was just awful. It was just fucking awful. I'm sorry. So guys, I hope that you gathered some bit of information from this review, and of course you are more than welcome to check them out for yourself. I will leave links for this down in the description below for you to check them out. And also guys, if you have read Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen and you feel like these books are definitely tied into the story and you want to discuss that in the comments below, that's freaking great. I would definitely encourage that because I love having discussions with you guys. And again, I will be reviewing Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen later on, just not at the moment because I have so much more material to show you guys that you guys are going to love. You know, several other stories and novels by Matthew Gregory Lewis and everything like that. Just, it's gonna be great, guys, I promise you. Now subscribe to my channel for more videos on Gothic literature and absinthe and opera. And guys, I know you are very patiently waiting for the video of my recital. The videographer and I are collaborating on putting the final touches on the video to make it really awesome. And I will be kind of announcing the posting of the video once it's actually up so that you guys can go watch it. And again, thank you guys so much to those who came, and I really appreciate it. So, that being said, I will stop rambling on and carrying on like a lunatic and get the fuck out of here. Love you guys, you rock, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!